I'm Rita Clifton. I'm the former chairman of Interbrand. I now do a portfolio of roles, including a new business. Your behaviour is your communication. If you don't have lots of money to spend on advertising campaigns, it's who you are and what you do and what your individual people say and how they behave that's going to give off a really strong, powerful message about you.
Charlotte Crossley, Head of Communications at the Innovation Birmingham campus. Having editorial coverage on a startup actually really raises those companies above the parapet as ones to watch. Investors really catch hold of that. If there's a big milestone that these companies have, if they're launching a product or they've got that first bit of investment, or they've got somebody high profile who's joined as maybe a non-exec director, then there are a number of ways that we can look at making a first announcement about a startup that can really then create a number of incoming opportunities. Try and get some initial press coverage. Then things like, having an active LinkedIn profile, having an active Twitter account. If you've got a product or service that is relevant to a Facebook audience, go on Facebook and just try and build some personality behind the brand, behind the product that you're looking at selling.
My name's Pip Piper. I'm a producer and documentary director. The company that I run with my business partner Rob Taylor is called Blue Hippo Media. You can get very lost as a business in all the doing and the busyness, that actually there is a sense of identity that is growing and evolving around who you are, whatever that name may be. Ours is Blue Hippo Media. From what people may have said 6 years ago, in terms of the peers and the audience that know about us, to what they might say now, it is different. You would hope that it would be different. But that sense in which now we can say we're an award-winning film company. We're a film company that has made and distributed a feature film, has made and has commercial success, on a documentary that we did. Those are important things, but it's no good just sitting there and telling that to one another. That needs to be out there on your website or in other ways that you're kind of talking to people, not from an arrogant point of view, but you just have to have ways in which it is out there, pulsing a sense of people's awareness of who you are, because that's really important to the culture of how you're developing your business.
My name's Rob. I work at a company called MapMe. I'm one of the developers there, and I specialise mostly in R&D as well as developing some of our projects. A lot of the work we do is for companies that specialise in marketing. And the big thing about marketing is it's about novelty. People are interested in something they haven't seen before. Now, as a result of that has a big influence on what kind of projects we will take on and what we will try and create. And we tend to try and create something that's original. That means we have to stay one step ahead of the game. Some companies, they can produce a product and just keep throwing out the same product. The problem with what we do is we make a product and within a year it's something new's out. So we don't want to just keep banging out the same thing over and over again because it gets old. It's great. Advertising has, a good long shelf life, but it's important not to sit on your laurels, if that makes sense. That's our strength as a company. We do things that other people maybe wouldn't because they've not done it before.
I'm David O'Hearns, Creative Director at Vibe in Macclesfield. We're an integrated digital PR and brand agency. Everyone's brand should be reviewed and reflected upon from time to time. The world changes at an extremely fast rate, and it's a requirement to make sure that you survive and evolve in the marketplace. And ourselves are no exception to that. When we set up overnight, we were originally called Verve, which is like an enthusiasm expression of creative ideas, with a brand focus at the time, because that was important to us. As we developed the business and started to develop some processes, we've also brought PR into the mix.
I wouldn't say throwing money from day one is the best way forward. I would say build it up to a point where then when you do spend money, it can have an immediate effect rather than really starting from ground zero. And then supplement all of that with getting out and about. It is important to actually just stop working at some points in the working week and go and shake a few hands.
One of our projects, Last Shop Standing, which was about independent record shops, we suddenly started to realise that actually we're getting a lot of people still coming to the Facebook site. Here's an audience that actually is a really engaged audience. Rather than let that die, what can we do with it? So we've started to look at the idea that maybe what we're on the verge of with that is there's a brand, because the film came out of the back of a book. The author of that book has now written another book about record shops, so they're all kind of interrelated. Sitting around that are some rather large music-related businesses and companies. And we're kind of thinking, well, maybe there's something we could do. Maybe we need to do a lot more work at putting some fresh media into that YouTube channel, or talking to other people who've got much larger YouTube channels around the issues of vinyl or record shops or music, seeing if we can collaborate in some way to grow that audience, because ultimately that may well have a commercial value to us as a business.
How are you better, different, stroke distinctive from your competitors? What's your angle on your market? What's your angle versus other creative industries?
It's really important to take the time to understand how you can enhance and further the things that you've been doing, rather than did that film, park it, done, on to the next thing. You know, they are, like I said, they're like your children. You know, you need to see them evolve and grow.